All right. I'm just letting you know I am grasping for my Willow. That thing was so sweaty and nasty. Would you wear that out in public is my question.
Welcome back to the Jack of the Shadows podcast, episode 21. I'm Eric VC, and as always,
I'm joined. It makes it sound like it's so few episodes.
Right. I know it does.
Doesn't it?
Well, I've said season 2 often enough. I don't need to keep banging that drum.
Well, bang the drum politely.
Bang the drum for your brother.
As always, those two voices you hear are my favorite good and plenty, Adam and Dave. Say hello, Adam.
It's got to have happened before. Charlie says...
Love my good and plenty.
Charlie says...
Really rings a bell.
Charlie says...
Love my good and plenty.
Right,
There's no other
my good and plenty really does me
so well.
with something about
something or other.
well.
Yep, no, that was pretty good. That was most of it.
Well...
Together, we're the VC boys, and for this episode, we read Path of Daggers, chapters 13 through 18.
You stop. I'll be plenty. You can be good.
So as we head into this episode, we'll get our view from Dragonmount and review the plot from our chapters, and then we'll discuss our favorite moments of the book and what shook your Willow. Our character reviews will come from Get Randy and Time Egwene before we finish up with our Coplin of the week and Who Leveled Up.
I do feel like we need to pat Eric on the backside for his Time Egwene.
I don't need either of you patting me on the backside.
You're not comfortable in your
on
own
the
sexuality.
Back? You
backside.
You want a back?
He said
pat?
backside, not back.
Yeah.
Hey, man, like you're wearing football. You just kind of give it a little tap. Give it a little tap, tap,
That's
tap-a-roo.
not a tap. That is a smack.
Okay.
Well,
in November,
you're
you're getting a smack from me.
That's
and
right.
from my boy as well.
That's right.
I'm gonna make my boy smack. He's gonna be like, "What you got in them jeans?
What you got in them jeans?
So without further ado, let's head down the runway of Tar Valon and take off for the peak of that isolated spire for our view from Dragonmount.
The isolated spire.
That is a mouthful. Congratulations.
Let's go up that spire, baby.
We started this episode with chapter 13, Floating Like Snow with the dragon glyph.
And stinging like a bumblebee.
So the rain's been pounding down for days, and now the weather has gotten cold for Rand. He's sitting there.
Everyone automatically starts complaining about the weather.
Yes. Well, they're humans.
Right away.
They're
Man,
people.
I really miss that hot.
That
Well,
precipitation, man.
they're not doing that, but if you went straight from like the middle of summer to the middle of winter, you'd miss fall also.
Yeah.
You would be like, hey.
Agreed. I do like my fall.
Yeah, I'm not the person to talk to this about.
It's fine to have
No, you are
different
not.
weather, but if it's all just the most extreme I would be complaining.
Well, that's where Adam lives.
No.
Most
I'm
extreme.
talking about just the.
That's true, Dave. Don't
these
give
Westlanders
Don't give my
experience.
spot away. I live in the most extreme of weather.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, he lives in
The
the Mojave
Mojave.
Desert. Yes.
After arguing,
That's not what I. Well,
I
yeah,
know.
sure.
Sarand is east of Ilion, pursuing the remnants of Samael's army, and has come across a large group of them encamped in some of the forested hills there east of Ilion. After arguing amongst his captains, he takes Lord Gregorin and Marcolin, along with the Ashaman, Ibn Hopwell, and Corlin Dashiva, down to meet the large band of Ilion rebels. Before descending the slope he's been observing from, Rand is aware of a distressed Alana, though ignoring the space Alana holds in Rand's head has gotten easier for him over these last several months. Rand is also aware that Luz Theron has disappeared from his inner monologue. Dashiva mutters in the old tongue as they travel along, which is almost as odd as him being a farmer who hates the outdoors. So he's different. Rand calls Ibn Hopwell to his side, and we learn that he's been out scouting the Seanchan. Rand has been made aware of their second appearance here on the continent sometime earlier. He hopes he will have time to settle Ilion before having to deal with the Seanchan problem. In gathering his intelligence, Hopwell has had to incinerate a great deal of Seanchan, including the Damane and Suldam that were with them, and the ashes of their corpses floating on the wind is what gives this chapter its title. Rand and his coterie reach the
That's no big deal. Just
No big deal.
I mean, he was at
Dead
Dumais
bodies
Wells.
floating on the wind.
He's probably gotten used to this. Rand and his coterie reach the location of the
Touché.
rebels and encounters an archer who says he speaks for this army of Illianers. Rand tells the archer he will offer safe harbor to any who will swear themselves to him and return home, and he will allow any who wish to join his army to keep their arms. The archer remarks on the dragon sworn in the Shido everywhere, and Rand assures the man those are not his allies, but his enemies as well.
They ain't my Shido.
Yeah, the Shido are... Samael really created a big problem for Rand with
Sowing
that
the
maneuver.
seeds of chaos,
Yes.
if you will.
After leaving the archer, Rand releases the power and sees double
I won't,
momentarily. And this seems to be happening frequently now. So now Rand has weird colors on the periphery of his vision, and
Yeah.
he's seeing double when he releases
What is that
the one
about?
power. That's great, I'm sure. I'm sure it bodes nothing but good things ahead.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it's perfectly fine. They'll be fine.
Rand is also frustrated by the Shido, who he thinks may have been a trick of Samael's due to the many locations that seem to host them. But it's not a trick. They be everywhere. Which takes us to chapter 14.
Not good.
Messages from the Mahale
Not to be confused with messages in a bottle.
with the Dragon Fang glyph, which... Yeah, it's not... The Dragon Fang glyph does not normally bode good things for the people the chapter is about. So this isn't great.
Have you been
We've
keeping
sort
account
of-
of that?
Well, he keeps
No,
account
I
of
just,
all these
I
things.
just, yes, I just know
Ugh.
what each of the
Yep.
glyphs kind of signifies. This isn't the
Fangs
Dark
ain't good.
Friend glyph, but it's close.
Well, we already don't have great feelings about
Right.
our friend the Mahale.
We're already not big fans of Mazrim.
Not many
Miserable
people are.
time. Rand returns to his camp, which is broken up into separate nations after the Aiel have left. The flashes of color Rand has been experiencing now seem to be accompanied by a sense that someone is trying to touch his shoulders from behind. Spectacular. Rand meets Torval in the council tent where he meets every emissary from the Black Tower.
What a crap weasel that guy is.
And Torval he's certainly arrogant. He gives Rand a message from Mazrim Taim, who we now know is called the Mahale by the Ashaman.
That would make. I mean, Rand really doesn't like Torval.
No, for good reason.
No,
Yeah,
it doesn't seem that anybody really likes Torval,
No,
except for maybe the Mahale.
right.
Well, he
Torval
like himself.
also tells Rand that the rebel Aes Sedai are getting close to the Black Tower and may be a danger. And Rand replies, they're no danger and should be left alone on penalty of death.
Please don't leave them alone, Torval. Please.
We don't need him destroying any of those rebel Aes Sedai.
No, I want Rand destroying Torval.
Well, right, but that would also come after some of the rebel Aes Sedai had been destroyed and maybe Egwene.
Maybe you could just go hit on them.
Rand reads Time's message, which starts by informing him there are about 450 Ashaman at the Black Tower.
We think this is Egwene's party as opposed to the one what's her face? Elida sent? I thought it was the emissaries from
meeting-
Elida, not Egwene's people.
Meeting Torval? Meeting who?
So Rand is saying to leave the Aes Sedai alone. I thought he was talking about
right.
Aes Sedai from Elida, not necessarily from Egwene. I don't know that I know which ones it is.
No, we do. We know which one it is based on location.
I thought it was a
we know
Lynn.
where Egwene is located, and they do
Egwene
note that they
River.
are located near the Black Tower. There have been several references to the fact that
I thought they
there
were
is.
south of that by a fair distance.
It's not that they're super close. It's their trajectory. They look like they're headed on a trajectory to get there. No, there aren't any other. This army that Egwene has is huge.
Yeah, but we know that Elida sent an emissary to the Black
An
Tower.
emissary, yes.
We don't
not
know how
an
many
army.
people- no,
Nobody's
not an
concerned
army.
about an emissary heading to the Black Tower. They're concerned about a huge army of Aes Sedai.
I mean, I'd
Can
be
I ask you a
concerned about
question?
Anyone coming from Elida.
So, Egwene controls. You're saying a huge army of what?
What's his face's people? Gareth
Gareth
Bryn's
Bryn has
troops.
been, it's enormous.
Right.
Gareth Bryn
So
has been
his-
gathering people, and then there's the Band of the Red Hand on top
right.
of that.
They're floating about on the outskirts.
It's
Okay.
large.
Huge.
So
Okay.
So we've got the fact that there are about 450 Ashaman at the Black Tower, and Time believes their numbers will equal the White Towers in a few months. The message ends with, I have harvested that blackberry bush myself, a small bush and thorny, but a surprising number of berries for the size. So obviously this is a coded message, meaning he's destroyed something that was a pain in the butt. And we have no idea what that is.
That the thorns of the blackberries.
Right. Yeah. He's not a gardener. We know that much.
Fairly certain he is not.
No.
He is not constantly gardening.
He's
No.
pruning, but what is he pruning?
Rand asks Torval how many deserters the Black Tower have suffered, and the man says there have been 19 with 3 heads hanging on from the trader's tree.
Not good
This-
enough.
Is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. Rand says he wants all the traitors found and asks how many losses they've had in training. So Torval...
Not only that, he says that he wants to see the heads when he comes back.
Yeah, well, right. He wants proof. This is the concern with Rand, is that he's getting
been a long 3
more and
years,
more
Rand.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he
Torval,
kind of has to be. Yeah, go ahead.
well, that
Sorry.
would be what he would say.
Yes.
Torval tells him 51 men have died in training, and some have been poisoned by the Mahale in their sleep when they show signs of starting to go mad. Rand does the math using
The
Torval's...
Mahale is just poisoning folk left and right.
Well, I mean...
Rand seems to be okay with it.
Rand figures it out and calculates that 1 man in
Yep.
50 has gone mad, and
Yeah,
1 in
those
10 actually
calculations.
ends up destroying themselves.
Really sad. Not
So-
good numbers. Not good numbers. Yep.
Fedwin Moore enters and tells Rand the Seanchan will be leaving Ibu Dar to attack Ilion soon. Of course, Torval doesn't believe this. It's only been a week since the Seanchan invaded Ibu Dar in the first place. Moore has also seen the devastation Egwene's mistake with the unweaving created, and like the Seanchan, Morat Rock, and Chulain, he's mistaken the devastation as the result of an Aes Sedai weapon.
Mm.
There's some strange moment here where Dashiva seems to be reaching for more, and Rand has to brush him aside to prevent him from clutching more for some reason. And that's all we get there.
If I'm being honest, I don't remember that.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's why I'm here. We learn
Thank
here
you.
we learn here that Rand had asked the Fox people how to we learned that Rand has learned how to cleanse Saidin, that he's been told how to cleanse Saidin. I concluded it was from the Fox people, because where else would he have gotten that information from? And he had that information confirmed with by Herod Fell.
See, I thought he got it from Herod Fell.
No, Herod Fell confirmed what he had told him as being within the known philosophical thoughts of the time.
Well,
So-
crazy to think that Rand was thinking about it way, way, way back then.
It's not that crazy, because I mean, he's always wanted to prevent himself from going mad.
But he wasn't that far along into his power deal when he went and saw them to begin with.
No,
now, he
but-
did see them twice. So
No, and it is the Fox people, not the Snake people. So it was the second
it was
visit.
the second time. Okay.
Well, they're the ones that answer questions.
Yeah,
The first
I can't
people,
remember
the
which
Snake
ones are.
people tell the future.
Hmm.
So that's why I concluded, because he said it was when he went through the doorway. So I
Okay.
mean, it's going to be the people that answer questions. So what they told him must have seemed a little confounding. So he then goes to Herod Fell and says, "Hey, I
Can I
think
do
this
X,
is
Y,
the way."
Z?
And Herod Fell confirms that that does seem that met with Herod Fell's logic.
I hadn't thought that he had gotten all the answers from Herod Fell, though. I thought he got like an inclination, but never got the concrete answer, and that was part of the
Well,
problems.
again, all Herod Fell did was Herod Fell didn't give him a map. He presented Herod Fell with a sort of map, and Herod Fell said, "Yeah, that kind of looks like the lay of the land." So Fell doesn't give him any answers. You're correct.
He was killed before he could.
Well, right, and Rand wonders at that.
Right.
So Rand is aware he has to cleanse Saidin, or his Ashaman may end up destroying the world even before Tarmangaiden, especially if the numbers grow to the size that Tain thinks they're going to.
They've grown very fast already.
Rand looks around and realizes he's spoken these ideas out loud and is getting stares from his company.
Everyone's staring at him like, yes.
Well,
yeah,
no,
that is
like
an issue.
people staring at him like,
No,
well, I'm
they
thinking
were
about
like,
two different
yes.
things. They're thinking yes because I'm not going to go crazy. This might save me.
Oh, the
They're
Ashaman.
very excited for it. Yeah.
Rand sends Hopwill to give his nobles in camp orders. Mor and Dashiva are to find Damer Flynn and the other Ashaman, while Torval is to take orders to Taim. Luce Theron then returns and says, dangerous. Oh, yes, very dangerous.
Kill him,
Maybe
kill him now,
too
kill him now.
dangerous. But it might
like
work.
a good time for me to come
It
back.
might.
Right.
In any event, you must kill Torval now. You must.
Yeah.
It always
Good
ends
job.
with the killing there.
I
with
don't
Luce.
disagree with him on the
I
Torval
do
front.
not disagree with him whatsoever, but I know he's not going to.
Right. Yeah,
No.
that seems to be.
It's not his way.
Well, if it was a man, he'd
It
do it.
is his way because it happens at the last minute that he has to do it, and his way is
When,
oops,
when
I
he has
waited
no
too
choice.
long.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna come back and bite him.
Rand begins to laugh with relief at the return of his namesake as his high lords enter the tent. I'm sure they'll all be really pleased to
That's
see him
settling.
laughing
Yeah. By himself.
crazily. Chapter 15, Stronger Than Written Law with the Bull and Roses glyph.
What is the
He
Bull and
laughed
Roses
pretty
glyph?
hard there.
It's, yes, he did laugh pretty hard there. The Bull and
It's-
Roses glyph is
yeah.
the glyph for Gareth Bryn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Egwene wakes from dreaming and can't recall all of her dreams.
Some of them are disturbing.
Some of her dreams are being forgotten also, which is unusual. And
There's
those
something-
dreams feel like someone has been chasing her.
Right.
Do you
yeah.
think she's only like holding onto the dreams that she has with the boy?
No,
No.
because we get a list of the dreams that she recalls. So she's dreamed of Rand wearing different masks,
Yep.
Perrin and Aram hacking their way through brambles and that are screaming with human voices and unaware that they're approaching a cliff. Matt
Right.
weighing two
We've
Aes
been
Sedai on
aware
a
of that.
scale, and an important outcome will result from the one he chooses.
Which,
It's
so
got me
we're not talking
curious.
about Matt. So which ones do you think that would be?
I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out because
Well,
we
Egwene
got
will
so
be
many.
one.
You think
I-
so?
I guarantee Egwene.
I mean,
will
could
one.
it be Cad Swan and Varen? Who knows?
Oh,
Maybe it's Egwene and Varen.
Right.
I like
maybe it's
that it's
Egwene
one
and
of the
Cad
lesser
I don't
Swan.
think. I don't think.
Well,
I don't think Matt's
interesting.
going to have much of a choice if Egwene is involved. That's not really a decision. He's going to choose.
Guess
Egwene.
what? Egwene isn't. The
I-
Tar Valon.
Right. Yeah.
right?
Doesn't matter how much power she has. He can still change stuff. I think it could be her.
Oh, not
interesting.
you not Tar Valon. You mean
Oh, sorry, not Tar Valon.
Oh, Taverin.
Varen?
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
had me.
even get
I
the
didn't
word
even
out of my
know.
mouth. I was laughing
Yeah,
so hard.
David responded, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what did he just respond to? Because what you just said, I don't even know what that means.
She is a tower.
Right? Guess
in
what
herself.
Egwene is?
Yeah, yeah.
Tar
She's
Valon.
not
She's a
in the
tower.
tower itself, so therefore she has no power.
I was. You baffled me. I was thoroughly confused.
That's not that
So I
far
don't think
off
it's going to
from
be
the word.
Egwene.
No, it wasn't that far off.
It's going to be
Interesting.
two Aes.
Okay.
It's going to be two Aes Sedai that he's more
Well-
ambivalent about.
Well, I always assume so. It's the daughter of the Nine Moons. So is that person one of them then?
Have we ever gotten reference to the? No, we determined that the daughter
We know
of the
who the
Nine
daughter of
Moons
Nine
is
Moons
one of the
is.
Sean-Chan.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Well, we
Well,
had
don't-
we
we
had
kind
that
of know it.
conversation months
we
ago.
haven't encountered her
Sure,
yet.
I know that, but could that be included in this? No,
I don't
because
know
she
that.
wouldn't
She's an
consider
Aes
it an
Sedai.
I don't
Maybe
think
she's
so.
a
She's not an
secret
Aes
Aes
Sedai.
Sedai.
No.
We don't know.
I don't
know.
think so. I think
Ooh.
this is going to be two Aes Sedai. I mean, it could be. It's
Yeah.
not going to be Swan. Not Swan. I'm sorry. It's not going to be.
It could just be Egwene
Elida.
and what's her face and Elida.
No, that's not a difficult choice. Remember, this is a difficult choice. He's weighing these two people, and he has to choose between the two of them. So it's got to be two people
I'm
that
very excited. I don't know who it is.
He's
I don't know either.
I mean, I think it could be Codswain. I think that was a good suggestion. And
the old
maybe Varen, Alana, one of them. Alana would make sense because he can't really do anything to Alana because she's tied to Rand. So that would be a difficult choice. We're just sort of spitballing here.
Yeah. Well, we obviously know who Perrin and the Tinker are, so that's easier.
Egwene's dreams of Matt have been painful and cast by shadow as if Matt were not real, which is also interesting. Maybe that's because whether he lives or dies is still in the balance. No,
he also already died.
Well, that's not only that. Matt is now composed of so many different memories that maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
But this happened recently, and Matt's been in that condition for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's wiser. She's older and wiser now.
Yes, I'm sure that's it.
The one for me.
Okay.
She is sadder but wiser.
Egwene is pained by the decision.
Wait, sorry. That's the lyrics.
You're all over. Sadder but wiser girl is the girl for me.
That's all right. For a long time, I thought it was Saturday Budweiser.
That is the girl for me.
That's not to be confused
with Saturday Budweiser girl.
Yeah, give me
not
that
the girl for me, by the way.
That is the girl for me.
And that is not accurate.
Neither is Tar Valon.
A
better lyric.
It's
a better lyric. Anyhow,
the sadder but wiser girl is a better lyric than what?
Budweiser girl.
No, Saturday Budweiser girl. I haven't had a. That's a great lyric. That is you. Dave, can you please text that
I guess
to me?
You're right. I guess
I'm gonna become a country star, and I'm just gonna sing that song.
Saturday Budweiser girl for me.
For me, yes.
Saturday Budweiser girl for me.
Let's sell her. I will sell my soul for that. I don't care. All I need to know is 4 chords, and I can do that song over and over again.
Yeah, it's not an AC/DC song. I think you might. Well, you're right though. AC/DC is only 3 chords.
3 chords.
So. Ostensibly.
Great hook.
Oh, phew. Egwene is pained by the decision to leave Matt and Tom to the Seanchan, as she should be.
Where is that guy?
Speaking of Matt, Halima now has a cot in Egwene's tent.
This sounds like a great idea.
She's alleviating her headaches by doing God knows what to her brain, and now she has a cot in her tent.
So do we think maybe that this, obviously she's giving her the headaches, do we think...
No. She's not giving her the headaches. The headaches started before. So? Well, the headaches start. She might be increasing them. She might be prolonging them. But she started helping Egwene because she had headaches. So unless she was giving them to her somehow in advance of ever touching her,
that's what I think was happening. And now I think she's making them worse. But my question actually doesn't have to do with that. My question has to do with: do we think whatever she's doing with her head is screwing up her dreams?
It's definitely yes, I do think that something she is doing is messing with her dreams.
I had not thought about that. That I guess makes sense.
Swan comes into the room, the tent.
Once upon a time,
and she and Egwene go outside away from Halima's curious eyes. They're curious for a reason, because she's a frickin' spy.
She is a spy. There's spies on top of spies.
It's now very cold, and a thick layer of snow lies on the ground.
It's lies on top of lies. It's spies on top of spies.
Yeah.
Guess what? It was just we had no water before, but now there's enough.
Well, it's all frozen, unfortunately.
Snow can stay in the ground.
The heavy snowfall has significantly slowed the progress of this group. Swan tells Egwene that Gareth Bryn is awaiting Egwene in her study. While approaching her study, Egwene looks at the snow and remembers Swan's comments that the law of the unintended consequences is stronger than any written law. It's a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah. That's pretty broad. But okay, go ahead.
As Egwene anticipates what Gareth...
I keep saying go ahead like I used to say 100%, so let's cut that out.
It's your new,
you
catchphrase.
Cut it out.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
You've supplanted one with the other.
I'm asking you two to go deeper with me.
Well,
to cut it out.
100%.
Yeah. There you go.
As Egwene anticipates what Gareth Bryn has to say, we learn she's aware of the Seanchan's new presence. So everybody knows about the Shan-Chen. They're not as big
That's
of a
good.
surprise as we thought they were going to be.
Well, we also are dealing with some of the most informed people on the continent.
No,
So.
absolutely. The other thing is the Shan-Chen aren't really trying to be secretive.
They
they're
want
like,
you to know.
Yeah,
They're trying to conquer.
because they think they are.
They are conquering.
Well,
they think they're the
they don't
bee's
just
knees.
think they are. They may not be the bee's knees, but they are certainly the bee's sword. So
They're the
you know,
bee's
bee's
abdomen.
stinger.
Bryn tells Egwene that there is an army of Andorans and Marundians led by Lords Pelavar and Arethella, two of the strongest houses of Andor north of them.
No,
And the army is pushing south hard, and they're going to run into them in 2 days.
as if Andor doesn't have enough things it's dealing with internally, they're going to send these two, who are two of the strongest, to deal with this thing externally while they still don't have a queen on the throne?
Well, Andor isn't sending these people. They've made this decision on their own.
Maybe they are Andor at this point.
Remember, there's no ruler in Andor.
That's what I just said. I know.
So nobody can send them. They're taking this on themselves.
Yeah.
Egwene and Swan have apparently been waiting for this and were worrying that it had not happened yet. While Brent suggests tactics, we learn that this group has heard rumors of Dumai's Wells and what the Aes Sedai did there, but Swan doesn't believe those rumors. Egwene asks Bryn to arrange a meeting with the nobles of this army as soon as possible. She also asks that he keep this news from the hall. It appears there are some in the hall who think Bryn has outrun his usefulness. Keeping this news from the hall could be seen as treason
Who do we think
and
those
capital
people
punishment
are?
for the general.
Do we think it's those two?
Well, they
What two?
have control over the halls, so they're going to
What's their names?
steer the thoughts of the hall. Marililla and Romanda.
Ramanda, yeah.
It's not Marililla, it's Lelaine and Romanda.
Ramanda, yeah. Mm-hmm.
After Bryn leaves to send his riders to this new army, Egwene and
Riders
Swan
on the
discuss
storm.
Egwene's desire to free the Aes Sedai from the Three Oaths. And during that conversation, Egwene thinks on her surprise that Elida has not already tried to capture Rand.
That is such a.
Does she not
I-
know
I
that
did-
she did try to capture Rand?
She doesn't. Apparently, she's not
Okay.
aware of this
They've
attempt.
got all this
That-
information.
Right.
That-
They know about the Shan-Chan.
They know
but
about
don't know
Dumai's
about
Wells,
this.
though.
That's what I was gonna say.
They know
That
about
just
Dumai's
blows
Wells,
my-
right.
That blows
They don't
my
know
mind that
why. Yeah.
and it was just casually mentioned
Right.
that. Oh, and then just continue on with the conversation, like blah 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 blah. Yeah, because she doesn't know that actually happened.
That's
Right.
so
Insane.
bizarre.
Which then makes you wonder,
Well-
what do they think happened at
Right.
Dumai's Wells?
What caused this giant war?
Right.
For someone
Where-
that is in such a high power, then
Right.
to have that information is insane.
Not
Yeah,
only that,
not
her
good. Not good
people were
stuff.
there. Well, then again, realize her people are now with Rand and sworn to Rand. So
Right.
Right.
So there's not a lot of news on that front traveling
Yeah.
back.
It's gonna be a problem. That's why I was thinking that she would be one of the ones involved with Matt.
Well, we can talk about that during Time and Time Egwene.
oh, cool.
Yeah.
The former Swan is really against the elimination of the Three Oaths.
The former Swan.
The
She once was
She
a bird.
who was once known as
now
Swan.
she is but a centipede.
she says the oaths are
Feeding
what
well,
make
though.
us more
Feeding
than
well.
simply a group of women meddling in the affairs of the world, or 7 groups, or 50.
I mean-
the oaths hold us together. A stated set of beliefs that bind us all, a single thread running through every sister, living or dead, back to the very first to lay her hands on the oath rod. That's what makes us Aes Sedai, not Sidar.
I think this is
Yeah.
very interesting. How are
She
we
has a
discussing
point.
This? Yeah, I mean, are we discussing
She
this later?
kind of
No.
does, but they all.
So
but they
this
all,
just goes to what we've been saying about the Aes Sedai all along, and their power hungry and whatever.
Mhm.
But this is a great counterpoint to that. Like this is, and maybe she's in the vast minority of this, but if that is the case, and we obviously know it's the case with her, at least personally, and maybe her view on that has changed more since she lost power. I don't know, but that's a great take. Like she's in it for the ethics of it. She's in it for the greater good, as opposed to. And she was a leader. She was it. So if she
yeah, but
was
she was
holding
also
those
holding
tenets-
secrets
well,
from
sometimes that
everybody else.
happens when you are a leader, but I'm sure
So are
pretty much
you-
every effective leader
Are you saying
has
that
secrets. But
she's making an active choice to be ethical?
yes, I feel like rather than just being like we're the Aes Sedai, And because we are the collective whole of Aes Sedai, no, it's about the root of what you are is you're living what you are. And the oaths uphold to that, and you want that. Like, you want that level of ethic, you want that level of morality, as opposed to it probably far easier, like she's saying, to just be able to lie. But no, she wants the greater purpose behind that, and I think that's good. And I would hope more Aes Sedai are like that, but somehow I get the feeling like a lot of them aren't. Hence, obviously Black Aja, but whatever.
Well, that's a different set. We've had conversations about the importance of the 3 oaths before, and I think that
we've never seen it from their perspective like this.
Well, lying is the one that is bent the most, I would imagine,
or coming as close to it as possible. Yeah,
right. But
no, they're always bending it to
What she's saying here is what we've said, with the alteration that.
Yeah, I agree
it's
with the
also historic, that it ties them to their past as well, which I don't know if that's significant to anybody but the Aes Sedai, but it definitely allows them to be trusted in this society, and it's the reason why they're treated the way they're treated versus the way channelers are treated in Shan-Chan.
I mean, I
where they're not trusted and leashed immediately because they're, it's funny because this predates our superhero idea of mutants being born and people being afraid of them and trying to, cage them right away. That's basically what the Shan-Chan have done.
I feel much better about her in general after hearing this.
I know that there is someone out there that has gone over the lies that the Aes Sedai had. There's some nerd that has read these books and gone over the lies that the Aes Sedai have bent their way. I would like to read that because, as Eric is saying, it's nice.
Lie.
It's
they
nice
can lie by omission.
Yeah,
sure, but it's nice. But what you're saying is that, hey, we have this big political thing that we can say to everyone that we can't lie. That's a big move to have.
People also know that if you corner an Aes Sedai into answering specifically what you're asking, they have to tell the truth.
Right. They're going to try to potentially around it. But.
No, not kind of. They have to. They can.
Yeah, but we've seen specific accounts of them weaseling
they're spin doctors. Yeah, they know how to. Exactly. Yes, they know how to. They know how to say things, and they know how to. But if you need to ask them a question directly and ask them a yes/no question, that yes or no is going to be the truth.
I don't know. I feel like
No, it is. It is, and this is the thing that the Aes Sedai know too. I mean, we've had conversations of that amongst them. The conversation pivots to Gareth Bryn as Swan suggests that Egwene can trust him with their secrets, and it's at this point that Egwene realizes Swan is in love with Gareth Bryn.
Yeah.
Yep, she figured it out. I'd say pretty fast.
She tells Swan that Bryn is to be kept in the dark. And as they head back to their tents, Egwene also tells Swan to send Baonin, Anaya, and Mirel north with their many warders to discover where this army that is approaching them is actually located. She also has Swan give instructions to Sheriam, Carlinia, Movrin, and Nisau to start sowing the seeds of whatever plan Egwene is hatching here in their camp. So chapter 16 is Unexpected Absences with the Flame of Tar Valon. Before the sun rises, Egwene calls the hall of the tower to sit. A crowd gathers outside the sitters, and they're allowed to stay there. Egwene announces to the sitters in the gathering crowd that they will stay at their current location for 2 or 3 days for rest and repairs, which is something she heard from Gareth Bryn.
Before the parade.
The crowd seems surprised.
Yep.
There's another suggestion here that this is
Why is the crowd surprised that they're going to stay there that long?
Maybe they're just used to traveling. Because they're trying to get to their destination as soon as possible, and all of a sudden they're camping out for a couple days.
Oh, okay.
It's my guess.
One of the
It
other
was not
things.
good
One of the
news.
other things he mentions is she asks him how many days of rest they need because his army has been on the march for so long, and he says a month would be ideal.
But he could do X,
But we
Y,
can
Z.
do it for 2 or 3 days would be better than nothing. And so
Yeah,
that's
I
what she
forgot
does-
about that. How
makes
long
use
have
of.
they been walking that you need a month recovery?
They seem like they've been walking a long time.
Yeah,
Well, not
it's-
only
it's
walking,
been
but
a
they've been
couple of
hacking,
months.
too.
It's been a couple
Well,
of months.
Walking and camping.
A month is
Camping
a
and
long
walking.
time.
Yeah, and it's been a couple of months.
And canoodling.
I
This
think.
from someone that's never been in a war, but I'm just saying
We know that. We know that
you
That
should
Halima,
drop up.
she's a canoodler.
If you got a month, take that last day and then leave. But your head will be lopped off and put on a spike by the Lord Dragon.
Right.
Egwene returns to her tent and looks at a report of what is needed for repairs and replenishment. We get another reminder of what maintaining a medieval army really involves.
They're running out of cash.
Band-Aids.
There are frequent reminders in this chapter that Egwene barely has any authority at all. We have another one here. And then we shift
one
to
believe-
Erengar.
Oh, yeah, great. Just dragging about a dead body.
Through Erengar's inner monologue, well, she's leaving one.
Right, yeah.
Through her inner
monologue.
monologue, we get confirmation that she has been recycled from a Forsaken with the memories of the Age of Legends. So this is the first confirmation we get of
She's
Yep.
one of the others.
what Erengar actually is, though we've suspected for a while.
You two nailed that.
We did.
Yeah. Still not exactly positive who she is, but we think we know.
She
Just
is
putting that out
returning
there.
from having buried a corpse.
Who do we think that is?
Well, we will arrive on a couple of possibilities in a moment here.
Yeah.
We snap back to Egwene, who's visited by Lelaine. Lelaine says they need to speak of the sea folk, and we get our first understanding of what Egwene thinks of the bargain struck with them by Elaine and Nynaeve.
Not good.
She sees it as, quote, insane, unquote, and worries about how she will handle it with the Hall.
Why doesn't she say how she really thinks?
I just think I think it's a good setup, the fact that they just can't meet together in dreams because other people are looking at them. Yeah, it's been a while, Dave. Please. But that would make it so much better if they could just talk to each other without being looked at.
But she knows what happened. She knows what the bargain is. She just can't figure out how she's going to present it to the
How she's
Hall
going to
yet.
extricate herself out of
Yeah,
that
right.
mess.
Yeah, well,
I love the fact that each one of them wants to
Live.
talk to the different sea folk naturally.
Yep.
They can't agree.
Yep.
They both have to be. One wants to talk to the ones in Karya, and one wants to talk to the ones in Andor. Of course, they're contrary-wise about everything.
Ramanda then follows and confirms the need
Yeah,
for
it's
this
very true.
conversation, and the two squabble over the choice to allow the use of the Bowl of Winds at Ibu Dar and to include the sea folk in the circle. Ramanda blames Lelaine for the choice of Marililla, who she holds responsible for the radical change in the weather. Ramanda suggests that Marililla should meet with her without any communication to any of her other fellow Aes Sedai to see if Lelaine colluded in having Marililla sent to Ibu Dar. Egwene says she will bring this up with Elaine and Nynaeve next time she meets with them in the World of Dreams. Just then, Chessa enters.
but
late.
Gwen's like, but first I have to make a stop off somewhere else in the world of dreams.
Chessa enters late with Egwene's lunch and tells her the delay was due to a missing Mary.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there's one person that could have been killed by Erengar.
It's not the only
Ain't
one.
no big deal. We just got a missing Mary.
Egwene reminds the two sitters that the important thing was to know what Rand and the Sea Folk want from each other. Egwene knows that the Sea Folk see Rand as the Coramor,
Yeah.
but the Hall doesn't. She does not know what Rand intends to do about being the Coramor. Chessa returns later to clear up and complains that Salome has gone missing as well.
Good grief. The maids are dropping like flies.
So
I wish the
well,
flies were dropping.
it seems
more
like
quickly than they are, not in my
Erengar
drink.
might be trying to eliminate the competition.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not a good maid.
But she only buried one person, not two.
Well,
At
that we
least
know
that's-
of.
That's what we got the sense of with that little snippet. Swan makes a comment about a strange note indicating an army of Kandori were heading south. Egwene has heard rumors that the Aes Sedai serve Rand, but dismisses that out of hand. She doesn't believe
she's got that, but doesn't know that Rand was beat up by the alternate Aes Sedai and then made these Aes Sedai swear to him.
It's such
or
a
that
big
her
deal.
Aes Sedai have sworn to him. She doesn't believe any of it.
Right.
So she's bad judgment there. She also does not believe all the rumors of the Shido raids.
The pigeons have not been running. As
There
they
just
should be.
seem to be too many of these
Faulty
Shido raids.
data. Yeah.
Swan then tells Egwene that she's concerned that the sitters they have are all abnormally young.
Yeah, this is a very
and she
interesting
thinks there's
take.
someone or something behind that.
Eric tried hard to make that work.
He really did. Switters and sitters.
The guy.
He didn't say the
God,
alternate, which
wait.
rhymed and had something to do with poop, so we were okay.
Egwene thinks it's just a product of the upheaval the group has undergone, but they don't get a chance to discuss it.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of those two annoying
Romanda.
pigeons. Romanda and
Romanda
Lelaine.
appears and orders Swan out of the tent.
You, out.
She then reveals she has learned about what Egwene has ordered Gareth Bryn to do. She tells Elaine that Marililla and Marana have done what Marililla and Marana have done in Ibu Dar will be ascribed to Lelaine, weakening Lelaine's standing. So Egwene will let Romanda handle the conversation with Pelavar and Erethel.
Yeah.
No sooner does Romanda leave than Lelaine enters and tells Egwene she has the Hall's favor because they are tired of Romanda's bullying. She tells Egwene to appoint herself to speak to Pelavar and Erethella. Following Romanda's departure, Swan enters the tent and tells Egwene that the Hall knows about Pelavar and Erethella and that those two will be joined by Aemlyn, another strong house of Caemlyn.
Aemlyn from Caemlyn.
His parents just took the C off their country's name and named their child.
Hey, yo, my name's Aemlyn.
Right. My name
Parents from Gaemon.
is Marika. We then join Sheriam,
Okay.
who
This
is
starts getting
shielded
deep.
and bound upon entering her small tent.
Did
Her interrogator accuses her of not having kept them fully informed of Egwene's maneuvers, and they suspect Egwene is up to something. Sheriam is then left alone to see to her welts and bruises. So is this another one of our favorite Aes Sedai who's a dark friend?
right? Is that what we're getting from this? She's actually a dark friend.
It doesn't have to be. There could be somebody else in the camp who's relying on her to spy.
I don't think so because the Aes Sedai can't use the power to abuse people unless they're a black.
Well, she's bound, right? She's bound and gagged. She's not,
And then beaten.
but not with the power. Is she beaten with the
She's
power?
beaten with the power.
Oh,
Yeah, I would congratulate Robert Jordan if he just came up with like being, hey, I'm just gonna offer up some people get beaten up every once in a while by other folks.
I don't have a
but
good
I think,
feeling about this,
yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
and I think we know who did it.
oh, you think it's
Ooh.
Erengar?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, Erengar is the leader in the
Yeah.
clubhouse.
Unless there's other black in there.
I
which
suspect
could
there
be.
might be.
I mean, there could very well be.
I suspect there might be. We know that there are
Yeah.
spies for Elida.
Elida, which she's not black, but at least we don't think so.
Well,
Right, we don't think so.
she's just winking at it though. She's as close as
Right,
What's the difference between her and the black though? Nothing much.
Literally swearing to Shy-Tan. That's probably about it.
Yeah, nothing much.
Oh boy, I don't like that at all.
It's so I like Sheriam.
I know. That's why I don't like it at all.
annoying. And she's the.
I think it's
the,
great.
She's the keeper, or she's the keeper of the seals.
Yep.
so not good,
No,
right?
no.
Not good.
She's kind of influential.
She knows some things.
We got one person
Jordan is
poisoning
just
her brain.
stealing away our favorite,
Oh,
our favorite Aes Sedai, other than the Supergirls.
Supergirls.
So, chapter 17, out on the ice with the flame of Tar Valon glyph,
I like
or
this
as
chapter.
Adam would call it, Taverin.
That's what I call it too.
I would say that.
It's now
Egwene
what I'm going to call it.
and a battalion of about 2,000, led by Uno, march toward the frozen lake that will be the meeting grounds for the parley
me
between
some Uno.
Led by Uno.
Egwene. Yeah, Uno. Yep, we get another Uno sighting after a very long time of being away. But remember, he was with them. She is going to meet with Andorian and Mirundian nobles, as we learn in this chapter. And as they march, Egwene looks at Halima and Delana. And there are clues here as to who Halima is. Egwene has noticed that for a countrywoman and a secretary, there are no creases from use in Halima's hands.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bad secretary.
Also, Halima does not seem to be bothered by the cold.
Yep.
Because she's channeling.
She be channeling.
Egwene's tension as they ride towards this meeting keys us into the fact that Egwene is about to do something momentous. Once they get close enough to scout their opponents, Gareth Bryn informs Egwene that Talamanus has a squadron of about 100 of the Band of the Red Hand to the east of the meeting place. Lelaine and Romanda go crazy over this news.
What a surprise.
They arrive on the lake and seats are arranged for both parties, the Aes Sedai seats being a foot higher than the nobles. We learn that Egwene has sent Mirella and the other Aes Sedai to this group earlier to lay the groundwork for the meeting. Egwene's titles are given, and she addresses the nobles gathered before her, questioning why they've come in arms to face the Aes Sedai.
I love the fact that she sits down first. She makes the first power move, not letting the other people do it. And then she's like, "Oh, you guys can sit down now. I give you permission."
Yes, she demonstrates that she's in control throughout this meeting.
Our Egwene, she's up and she's all grows up.
Arethella then addresses the Aes Sedai behind Egwene instead of addressing Egwene and mentions the concern of being seen to aid rebels and stuck between an Aes Sedai civil war. She also mentions the Tower Aes Sedai and guards moving into Andor in secret. Arethella then expresses concern that if the rebels do not aim to confront the Tower or on Andoran grounds, then they are concerned that they are trying to fight the Black Tower, which would be worse. See, here we get confirmation that they're the ones that people are worried about moving toward the Black Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Pelavar then breaks in and tells the Aes Sedai he does not intend to allow them to do battle on Andoran grounds, and the Mirundians seem quite surprised by this opinion, and an argument ensues. Just then, Egwene imagines that Lelaine and Romanda are waiting to be appointed to handle these negotiations, and she takes the reins. She tells the nobles they intend to move on to the tower.
Can you imagine those two sitting behind? They're all getting ready. They're getting ready for their moment to be appointed, and then kablam chico.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Oh,
Good
man.
use of kablam chico.
Yeah.
Oh, that made me so happy.
So she tells the nobles that they intend to move on the tower and impeach Elida. She continues that while men who can channel have always fallen under the tower's domain, they do not intend to deal with the Black Tower at the moment. Egwene then goes on to state that they will stay encamped there. They will stay encamped where they are for a month.
Yeah.
So she changes her tune between what she says to her Aes Sedai in the morning and what she says here. And she's going to pay the Mirundians fairly.
By people, though.
Yeah,
they
were
were
like,
like,
yes. They're going to pay the Mirundians well for the provisions that they will provide. And when they leave, they will not head into Andor, which is an interesting route to the tower.
Okay. Well, she's being polite.
I'm sure that's what it is. As people are about to leave, Egwene says that they should stay a while and get to know each other, and then almost offhandedly informs the nobles that women of any age who can channel can now train to be Aes Sedai.
I'm going to drop this little nugget on my way
for
out.
For real. My goodness. Yeah. Anyhow, that'll be discussed.
Take it. You can leave it.
That takes us to Chapter 18, A Peculiar Calling with the Dice Glyph.
I don't need it. Yep.
You take it.
So after the meeting concludes, Egwene has Sheriam, evil, wicked, duplicitous Sheriam, question the nobles about the tower guards and Aes Sedai that have secretly infiltrated into Andor so that she can just give that information over to Shaitan.
Right.
While Egwene looks for Talamanus, Swan approaches and whispers the name Shane Chunla in her ears.
Shane.
Okay. Sounds like a Celtic
You're right.
underground
that is how
group.
It happened. I'm sorry. That is how it happened. It was just like, here you go.
It's like a password.
Wait,
Shane
I'm
Chula.
walking by you as you wouldn't expect, but I'm also saying something into your ear.
What is the name? What was the name of the IRA? Sinn Fein. It's like that.
Oh,
Yeah. Shane Chula. All right.
Shane Chula.
Sigane Arus approaches and asks Egwene if indeed a woman of any age can train to be Aes Sedai. Egwene confirms her previous statement and sees Talamanus having a private conversation with Pelavar. Just then, Siwan has some derogatory comments about adding the edict that women of any age could train at the tower. Egwene counters Siwan's criticism by telling her she should inform Gareth Bryn that Siwan is madly in love with him.
I love it.
That was such a move.
That's such a power play.
It 100% is such a move.
And that was the move to make. Like she'd been holding that. She'd been waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting, and then she
Not
pulled
even
that
long,
ace out and
Dave.
dropped
She
it
wasn't
down.
waiting that long. She was waiting
feel
for
like-
like 8 hours?
I mean,
I feel like there was a better way to do it, but that is the boss way to do it for sure. When Egwene returns to looking for Talamanus, she finds him alone.
Yeah.
When she gets to Talamanus,
Talamanus.
he tells her she's moved the border of Andor farther south into Murundi by creating a situation where these lords are going to sit on Murundian ground for a month. So,
Yeah.
good job there.
No big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal.
She covertly asks him if he said
That's right.
anything he shouldn't to Pelavar, and he tells her he hasn't, and asks if she knew this day would come when she sent Matt away. She tells him truthfully she did not, but we learn from her thoughts she hoped something like this would happen.
Yep.
So that's
Was it
sort
not
of a
interesting
lie.
that he like
Adam.
You've changed. What?
what's going on with Talmanis where all of a sudden he's like picking up Tar Valon-ness about people instead of Adam's new favorite word.
Oh,
Tar Valon-ness where
think
he can sense that
everybody
Matt
feels it.
needs him.
everybody. I think
Is
I
it a
think it
rub-off?
happens. No, I think it happens more to Taverin.
Well, I mean,
I think it happens more to Merit to.
Well, I'm saying it's like has Matt's powers as a Tar Valon guy rubbed off on
Right.
to
I know what
him.
you're saying, and he does too.
Yes.
We get that Taverin feel, specifically Matt and Perrin are going to feel the pull of Rand more, but Taverin pull everything around them. So even if you're not Taverin, you can still and are important to a Taverin, you will still feel that Taverin pull.
Okay.
Talamanus tells Egwene that he's been approached by King Rodran with regard to hiring the band to help him become Murundi's first real king, not
Love it does
Talamanus,
sound like
Rodran.
forming a music group.
He says with the feeling that Matt needs help, in the South and the need for coin, he would like to take the man up on his offer. It seems the king intends to use the foreign army on his soil to drive the other nobles to his side, and we've seen this tactic used before. Egwene agrees to let Talamanus serve the king, but demands he not enter into war. Talamanus agrees, and after a moment, and seems even further impressed by Egwene. Egwene is concerned about the bargain she has struck and goes to sound out Pelavar. She exchanges some pleasantries with him over the shared knowledge that Elaine was on her way north to put forward her claim, and is surprised by the curt response she gets from a man Elaine has said she held in high regard. Before things can go further, Swan approaches and says she must leave if they want to reach their camp by dark. And Egwene tells her to chivvy everyone to travel because she wants to avoid a temporary encampment on the return that would allow the sitters to plot against her. And that concludes the 6 chapters we read for this episode. So, Dave,
Yes.
what shook your willow?
Well, I'll tell you. He's going to tell. He's going to tell.
He's going to tell.
It was. I was wondering. So Egwene's got these headaches.
wondered.
I have
Oh, boy.
wondered. Egwene's got these headaches. They've been coming around. They've been coming and going. And now we got, the canoodler sleeping in the tent with her.
We will henceforth refer to Erengar as the
The
canoodler.
canoodler, yes.
He has
And
canoodled.
well, we should.
She.
Well,
Well,
she.
he-
Sorry.
I mean, you're
that's
right,
a he.
I know.
What we
It's tough.
think.
Well, that's on me. My apologies.
Do we think potentially she's messing up her dreams?
Hmm.
Because now she's forgetting some of the stuff in her dreams where normally she didn't. Is it? I'm not saying maybe necessarily she's doing it intentionally, but maybe whatever she's doing to her.
Oh, I mean, it would be intentional.
Well, I don't know if she's intentionally trying to erase her dreams. I think she's intentionally doing something to her. Maybe that's a side product of that. But that's just curious to me. Like maybe Egwene, who normally doesn't forget her dreams, is now forgetting her dreams because her head's being so screwed with by the canoodler.
Curious. Aaron,
So
curious
what shook
there.
your
That's-
willow is what Halima is doing with those temple massages to Egwene.
Or what she's doing to her on top of giving her the headaches and then compounding the problem by the temple massages on because I believe she's giving her the headaches to begin with. And
The
then I think she's
temple
adding to the
massages.
temple massages, doing whatever she's doing.
I don't know how she would. I would agree with she is exacerbating the headaches, and maybe they were a temporary thing with Egwene's, and maybe initially they were a temporary byproduct of the fact that Egwene was rushing into channeling and doing stuff in Teleronriode, and she's exacerbating it. I can't figure out. I mean, we don't get any reference to any of the Forsaken having any kind of an ability to like.
No, but she could be slipping a Mickey in her drink for all we know.
Now, yes, I agree. Yeah. I agree that she could definitely be prolonging,
Or she
the
could have been doing
headaches.
it all along.
Well, right, but that's where you and I differ in opinion, because I don't.
Right.
That would be a whole new thing that the Forsaken have an ability of that we have no foundation for at all. Not that is impossible.
Right.
I'm never a fan of that type of storytelling.
So do you feel like if they're introducing this character as being evil, that they are establishing, that they're evil, but now from here on they're going to do evil things rather than...
Oh, I think Halima has
showing-
been doing evil things all along.
Yeah, I know, but...
Halima Gar,
Yeah.
Halima
canoodler.
Gar.
the canoodler.
Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah.
not
a
confused
new-
with
I know,
Canoe
but
canoe.
I
and
feel
boss.
I feel like now we're going to be aware of that's been happening more
The canoodler.
than what we have
Well,
been
we'll
aware
certainly
of.
pay more attention. And
Yeah.
it's certainly frightening that she's caught up there in the tent with her.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not great.
Not good.
Cotted.
Yeah.
She has
And-
been cotted up there.
Caught
And
it
Oh
all.
my
Egwene
goodness.
also seems to
Hats
be a big
off.
fan.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
She defends
that
her. She does whatever.
is
Bogus.
Not a
Dude.
good thing.
So my Willow moment was after Romanda and Lelaine leave. Egwene mocks them. She does
Lelaine.
this.
Yeah.
Egwene, why don't you do this? And Egwene, why don't you do that? And then she sits down on her rickety chair and it falls underneath her. It's just we don't
She
get
just
many of
fell
these
straight
like
down
really colloquial, humorous moments in this book.
in front of Swan too, right?
No, in front of Halima. Oh, maybe Swan
okay.
is in
I
the
thought
room.
I thought Swan was there.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, I thought that moment was. I just loved it. It's so small and,
And
so
then she
fast,
just
but it made me
popped
laugh.
up. Yeah,
But that's
no, that
funny
was great.
because my original Willow moment had to do with something similar where Swan was talking about Halima, and when she did the same sort of making fun of like kind of
Yes.
referring to her canoodling.
Yes, she makes fun of her dress.
Yes.
Canoodleish. Oh yeah,
No, she said something about
Yeah.
he's entertaining the
Oh,
men.
right, that was your Willow.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I changed it, yeah.
Well, she was hinting at the fact that she was sleeping around with
Right.
the soldiers.
And Egwene's defending her, the evil one,
Right.
because the canoodler's in her head.
Yeah. The canoodlers. Oh, the canoodler is in her head.
It's
Gotcha.
in Egwene's head, yeah.
I was like, she has more than one canoodler in her head?
Well, let's hope not.
yeah.
I can't talk to you right now for the canoodlers in my
Too
head.
much canoodling going on in my head.
There's been canoodles.
Adam, what shook your Willow?
That the Ashaman are just
The Ashaman.
Wait, Adam, would that be oodles of canoodles?
The Ashaman are what?
The oodles of canoodles. The Ashaman are it's a powder keg.
Oh man,
We've
is it
known
ever.
this, but it is just it just seems blatantly obvious that
because of the factions that are developing with, like what Torval represents and like what makes you feel like it's a powder keg.
But no, that they feel like they're going to be going crazy very fast.
Well, 1 in 50 right now is not so bad. And
that is very bad because the numbers are large. It's not only 1 in 50. It's 1 in 50.
Well, they have 400 right now, so that's that's only 8. That's 8 men.
No, but there's evidence of these Ashaman that we are aware of that their personalities have been changed outright.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
you're right. I mean, Rand realizes this. It's one of the reasons why he is rushing toward this, attempt to cleanse Sidin, whatever that's gonna be.
Yeah,
Good
I know.
luck.
It's not going to happen, but I think it's very scary that there are all of these Ashaman that we know that are on the brink, and then they're also calling. They have 2 savior names now.
London. They're calling London.
Right. Yes.
You mean that they've named Taim the Mahale?
Yeah.
Almost setting him up as a second leader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's not good.
That was the best.
Did you just swallow a fly?
No, he said 100%. Caught himself
I'm not wrong.
immediately afterward.
I know.
That was great.
But it's just, it's frightening.
I agree. 100%.
It's, yes.
He's all in.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about that before, but it just should be noted because
it's building.
That's
the trouble is building.
That's been built up
in River City,
because there are a lot of these members of this group that have been joining, and it doesn't seem like any of them are really holding up well.
No.
I mean, Dummer Flynn and Dashiv. I mean,
we got a few.
Dashiva's a little weird, but
yeah, but they're looking to outnumber the Aes Sedai in what, 2 weeks?
No, couple months.
Okay, fine. Sorry, I'm way off.
8 weeks.
I'm way off. A couple months. Yeah. No, it's an outrageous amount of time that,
given how long they've been in existence, yes, it's very
that they
quick,
can
quick
overcome the Aes Sedai. And it's what you were talking about before. Honestly, having those rules, I suppose, is a good thing to like bring down the numbers, but it's not good. It's not good.
It's a comment on what the Aes Sedai have become, and it's what Egwene is trying to reverse. It is the fact that, like you said, they've created so many rules for becoming an Aes Sedai that they've dwindled their numbers down, and Egwene realizes they need to become more democratic in order to bring more people, into the fold. And so she is
now the
trying to
Ashaman
reverse
are
that.
like, hey, we're a blob. Come along. If you want to be with us, okay. If you don't, come along anyhow.
Yeah, right. They'll come one, come all under the big tent. All right. So it's time to get Randy. We haven't gotten a lot of Rand lately. We get a fairly healthy chunk of it here. So in chapter 13, we learned that Rand's dad was a second captain over Demeter Marcolin.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah. So he's been in this army before.
Yeah.
Well, he's been in the
Illianers.
The Illian army?
You know who they are. They're the Golden Bees.
Oh, well, that makes sense. No, but they're also
Golden Bees.
That's what I was waiting for. Adam's favorite.
Yeah, so that would have been the army supporting the Kyrianen when the Aiel came over the Dragon Wall. Yeah. So that's where those two men ran into each other.
We all need Golden Bees pins.
I mean,
I don't care that.
You want to support Samael? Is that it?
Well, they're now Rand's Golden Bees.
I do want to support him because I like the Golden Bees. I love bees.
I'll see about getting you an enamel Golden Bees pin that you can put in your hat.
Well, I want mine to be golden.
Well, it can be. You want yours to be made of gold? That'd be a little heavy.
I don't want my. First of all, I don't want mine. I want ours.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
You'll have to. Anyhow,
chapter 14. Rand's camp is an interesting amalgam of different nations and people with different motivations. It's sort of a microcosm of this book. Each is there to protect Rand, and with a Victorian sensibility will make sure they perform that duty to the utmost while their neighbors are watching. There's also the suggestion that any one of them could betray him behind closed doors. And so he trusts these people because of this sensibility, which I thought was interesting. That he knows that they all want to put their best foot forward while in public. So none of them will badmouth him to any of the other ones and create any sort of a rebellion. Also because they're terrified of the other person going and telling him about it, because it's almost like Lincoln's cabinet of rivals. So nobody can band together because none of them actually like each other. Lews Therin is gone, and those colors on the periphery of Rand's view seem to be increasing. Of course, Lews Therin returns. He also now has this sensation that someone is lurking just behind him, which he sort of writes off, but obviously we as readers are not going to. So does anybody have any theories as to what is going on here?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, it could be just this feeling of, I don't know. He's got this double shadow thing going on, the double vision thing going on. He's got, well, now what's his face is returned, in his head. Somebody watching me.
Oh, when I'm in the shower,
yes.
I'm afraid to wash my hair.
That's right.
Beyond that, I don't really know. I mean, it could be one of the Forsaken watching him. It could be, it could be Shida Haran watching him. It could be the new what's his face, the new whatever their leader of the Nameless. It could be a whole lot of things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I literally just gave you like 6 different things that it could be. So as to my theories to which one is, I don't know.
So. All right. What was the impression that you were getting at him?
I don't know, babe.
I don't know, man.
In terms of looking over his shoulder,
what is causing this?
I just assumed it was his lack of
sanity,
knowing if it was yes.
I don't know,
lack of sanity. I don't know, babe. But lack of sanity in terms of I miss Lews Therin being in my head because that makes me feel sane. That's a problem.
Maybe he's got an Osengar around, another one. Who knows?
So you're saying that there are these folks that she just can enter into Rand's brain.
No, that's not what he's saying at all.
I'm saying the spies.
You're misconstruing the canoodling conversation from earlier.
I'm just saying spies.
My apologies. Okay. Oh yeah. There could be many.
But
spies.
it could be a spy that is a Forsaken.
Or it could. I mean, I like the Moradin idea. We know that he has plans on both sides, and something he is planning seems to be on the brink of coming to fruition. So. That's definitely how I was feeling.
Well, yeah.
We get several references here to Rand's awareness that he must bring pain to the world to win his war. And this is the very thing that Cadsuane and Sorilea are hoping to teach Rand to avoid.
Yeah, it's the infamous hard versus strong thing.
Right.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. And it seems to be increasing in its frequency, the frequency with which he chooses this path of being stern, incredibly stern with how he handles things versus granting some grace, I suppose, for, if I can oversimplify it. I'm actually looking forward to that battle, because hopefully if those two women are able to succeed in their goals, and I doubt we're going to like how they try to achieve them, but if they succeed in that goal, maybe we're going to get a much more enjoyable Rand.
Grumpy Rand will go away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope so.
Morose, grumpy Rand.
Because I don't really feel like that has been offered up to us that much. at this point.
No,
we haven't seen
I don't like
Happy
spending
Rand.
time with Rand or
I am
Perrin.
We haven't seen Happy Rand
Rooting
in a
for
long
this
time.
for you. Yeah, I miss Matt.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna get Matt. Yeah,
Oh, Matt's buried under rubble somewhere, so you know.
yeah,
I know.
being dug out by the Sean Chan.
No, I hope
Just-
not.
well, I'm saying I miss Matt, but then we're gonna get
Right, then we're
this
gonna get.
version. We're gonna get this version of Matt.
Oh, I hope
soon.
not.
Well,
think
the
we
daughter
are.
of 9 Moons is a Sean Chan, and Matt is
No.
in very close proximity to them right
Yep.
now. So I would
he's
imagine
destined
she
to
is
marry
on her
her.
way.
That's gonna make misery
Yeah, I hope not because
because it loves company.
don't want it. All right.
What other observations did you guys have about Rand?
He, for as morose and annoying as he is, he's wheeling and dealing and scheming and plotting, man. He's got his
He sure
fingers out
is.
doing things.
He's
like-
gotten a lot smarter
yeah.
and a lot more savvy.
He's gotten more leaderly in that sense. Like he's making decisions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got plots
Yes,
like
literally.
Egwene.
He's got plots within plots and secrets.
Yeah, like Egwene.
Yeah. We're getting a sense that all these leaders do that, and they have to. Like that's what they do to effectively lead. You can't tip your hat to everybody.
Did you have any observations on Rand, Adam?
I do because you all are saying this that he had these observations and he was doing well, but guess what? Then he just started laughing.
He's happy lose there in his back.
He just started
Who saw
laughing
that
in
coming?
front of Fork. Yeah.
Did anybody see Rand desperately wanting the crazy, insane voice in his head to return?
I didn't even really remember that Luce Theron had disappeared.
No, it's sort of introduced to us.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that he'd been looking out for him. I get it. It's a
Well, I mean, Luz is there. She
He's an
shared some
addict
very,
at this-
very
well,
important
whatever,
things
that's
for
It's a
him.
little bit of
for this.
Stockholm syndrome, if you ask me.
he's an addict. He wants that back.
Well, look, the guy is giving him amazing
Because
advice.
he honestly
Right.
thinks that he wants to be like, I'm not insane.
Right, that's the other part. It makes
Yeah,
him realize,
that-
okay,
that
I
is
wasn't going
100%.
crazy.
Yeah, that's why he's laughing, is because he's like, I'm not insane, but also
He looks insane.
he looks insane in front of other folks. And also you might be.
Also,
Because
Adam thinks you might be.
yeah, well, what's the difference at that point?
Well, that is a fair point. I mean, all this time, David and I have been arguing that this voice in his head is a real body, but
Voice
that
in me head.
you can still voice in me head. You can still be crazy. Like that thing can having somebody else's voice inside your head and then having Alana's emotions in your head and feelings in your head, that can drive you crazy. And and then he's got Sidin slowly chipping away at his sanity as well. So
What a crazy character. Just
yeah, he's just a chimera of a bunch of different
boy.
people.
Innocent boy
Yeah,
3 years ago.
it's really sort of sad what
Oh.
they've done to our boy.
It's very sad.
Yeah,
It's very sad.
yeah, it just happens
It's like
so slowly.
it's like
you
the
don't
movie
really,
Come and See. Yeah.
you don't realize it. All right, time and time Egwene. So in the first 3 chapters, both Rand and Egwene have the sensation that something menacing is approaching them from behind. Rand feels like this person is going to tap him on his shoulder from behind, and Egwene, in her dreams, feels like there's always somebody lurking in the background about to come down on her.
Yeah.
This is
Watching
what makes
her.
me think this is the same person, that this is like Moradin,
Interesting. Yeah.
somebody who's got some large plots going on, and
Right.
for both
Am
of
I
these
wrong
people.
for being more worried about Rand than Egwene?
No, Rand
No.
is the dragon reborn.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
she's the
Egwene
next,
is-
she's probably the next most important
Egwene isn't
person.
even Tar Valon.
Well, I always
Or Tar
I also
Valon.
feel like
Or Tar
Egwene always just gets out of it.
Well,
She's
Rand
been
always seems to
handcuffed.
get out of it too. I mean,
Yeah.
Rand
Yeah,
escaped.
sure.
Rand
But
Rand
he's-
was put in a chest.
I
And
know.
he pulled a Houdini.
Yeah, they both have been. Yeah, that's true. I mean, one was in a collar. Yeah.
Yeah, they both had their serious trials. I think that there's somebody, And that's why I thought it was Moradin, was because it felt like somebody was conspiring against both of them, against this whole movement.
Do you think this is a physical thing or a power thing?
I think it's a plotting thing. I think that there's somebody that's plotting against them, and whatever that plot is getting closer and closer to being realized. And
because
so I think it's metaphoric.
I'm beginning to agree with you, but I think it might be something more. Because let's look at the weird things going on with the shadow right now.
Well, sure. And she has Halima there too, which I just thought of.
You got Moradin, who is somebody resurrected and is now all of a sudden nameless. You got Shidar Haran, we don't even know what he is.
Right.
All of a sudden, the Shadow's taking on all these crazy new powers and stuff.
The Shadow seems to be rising more now than it did in the book title.
Right.
Shadow Rising, yeah.
They got goofy stuff going on over there, and it seems like the powers of good don't have that much crazy good going for them.
No, they don't.
Other than kind of a big thing with the Ashaman, which is kind of a
the
big
Black
deal,
Tower.
But
and Egwene is approaching the White Tower, and so that storyline is going to
hope maybe she'll punch Elida in the snoot.
Right.
I don't know, but in terms of things going on with Egwene, it's very similar to things going on with Rand. We were talking about how Egwene has been establishing herself as a ruler and a leader. She's thinking way ahead of time, and it's cool. Been watching, and she's getting good advice from Swan. Swan's teaching her in some of this stuff, and that's obviously why she's been there. But man, her ramp up speed time for like when she took over as the Amerlin seat, and how she's thinking 2 steps ahead for that sort of stuff, but at the same time still having to deal with all the politics and the red tape and Ramonda and Lelaine and that stuff, and like the infighting going on there. She's got to deal with that. She's, planning the war ahead with Elida and Gareth Bryn. You got all these things, plots within plots, and like it's.
Well, she's got the daily balance of trying to keep
and
Ramonda
then the daily balance
Lelaine.
of money,
right?
All that sort of stuff.
So they don't seem to be
the daily cash trades of money.
Yes.
They keep talking about how badly off they are, but then she just promised the Morundians that they would pay them well for the provisions that they're going to provide.
She had to, but the question is, where's that money coming from?
I don't know where that's going to. Yeah, where that's going to come from, because the other suggestion is to cut the army's pay, which historically, not just in this book, but historically, is not a good idea.
Leads to rebellion. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's beaten over our heads, actually, that this moment where she meets with these royals is a turning point for her and for her power struggle. And yet when it's all done, it still seems to be in the balance. Like nothing decisive seems to have happened. It seems like we've just started the process toward her actually, becoming an Amerlin in, truth rather than just name, which is what she feels like at the moment.
Are you saying that she doesn't seem as if she's wielding the power as much as she would want to, in terms of being strong to say I can do whatever I want?
I just expected with the way that this meeting was built up, there were constant references to a plan that she had that this was a major part of, and there were even references to a major moment happening. I expected this meeting to occur, and I expected her to walk back with head held high, and Ramonda and Lelaine to know their place, and that didn't really happen.
No.
Well,
just the beginnings of it.
Well,
did.
I'm hoping that's going to develop more. And you were talking about the things I had to talk about. I was impressed with how she handled that meeting. I mean, I have a feeling I really hope it's going somewhere. But we know she's going to have to face those two now. I mean, they're going to come after her full board now after she just dropped that bomb on them.
Yeah, they're gonna go back.
They're gonna go back to the tower.
It's one of the reasons why she rushes off after having told everyone, hey, let's all sit and meet the new Aes Sedai, and then they have to leave so that they can't encamp and do just what you're suggesting.
Yeah,
Yep.
which we know they're going to try to do.
Well, they're going to. Yeah, that's coming. But
That'll be a thing.
and then she dropped that.
Can't
nugget.
wait
but
for
she
that.
must have a plan for that. She
Right.
must
Well, 'cause
know
she's
what
always
she's
thinking
going to
ahead.
do.
Not
Right.
only that, she keeps alluding to it. She
Right.
keeps alluding
That's
to
what I'm saying.
all what our plans are coming to this point. I
Right.
can't spoil it now.
Right.
You know, whatever that is. I'm excited. I'm excited for whatever that is.
Yeah, I hope we get more
Yeah,
of
me
this
too.
and less of Perrin.
Yeah.
Because this is fun stuff.
Perrin or Matt or Rand? Excuse me. Which one? Which
Perrin,
one's worse?
Perrin.
Rand has a lot of power under his
I
hands.
see.
I'll
I
go
think
with
Perrin's
Rand more
fine when he's not
than
around his
Perrin.
wife.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's an issue.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen all that often.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless they're
Hey, but
deep
hey, maybe he's
vegetables.
finally going to take the advice of his buddy,
Right.
The other
Sinn
wolf
Féin.
boy. Yeah, no, not him.
Shouldn't say.
Whatever his name is,
Elias.
Machera, and grab her by the scruff of her neck and whip her around and be like, here.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but something of that
It
sort.
would.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be. It
wouldn't be
out of character with these books. Is that what you were going to
It
say?
might behoove him.
It would have been nice. He would win over his wife.
Time for Adam's Coplin of the week.
Oh, it's tough choices.
My Coplin of the week is Shiriam because we loved you.
What the heck?
I loved
Maybe
you.
now you're
Because
the
what
enemy.
the heck?
Yeah. I good for you. Well done.
I suppose.
Well done in hiding your treachery.
Yeah,
It's too bad the choice you made.
right. Yeah, that's good Coplin
It
choice.
really adds some extra spice to all those spankings she handed out to the novices.
right. She's like, I'm taking
For
a
real.
lot of
Yeah, no
pleasure in
kidding.
this.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that.
I mean,
Oh my
remember, she was
gosh.
a disciplinarian.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense at that point, though, if you break it
Vindictive
down.
little woman. She was also my
could be
Coplin
both.
of the week.
Oh,
I'm so disappointed. I'm just, it's a little
Yeah.
crushing. It's a little soul crushing, honestly.
Yeah,
yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
I'm so mad. Who was your Coplin of the week then, Dave?
It's the faction. I'm gonna call it this. I'm gonna call it the squad or the faction. Those two, Ramonda and Lane. I'm gonna group them together
Okay.
because they're one and the same, but not.
No.
They're just so irritating. And-
Squelch.
Yeah, they're just ugh, and that's a technical
They're
term.
a squelch,
Ugh.
folks. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
They're
I
oozing.
really, really hope that these plans that Elaine has is taking them to task, and that will be a glorious, glorious moment.
I don't like these women either. Let's not forget that they had ambitions that this little girl from nowhere just came and put the kibosh on. So they
Yeah.
do have a little bit of
Kibosh with the
reason
kibosh.
to be frustrated with where they're at.
Yeah. Well,
That is true.
Unfortunately,
suck.
well, I mean, you at a certain point you need to
That's
put your
true.
own personal ambitions
Dave,
aside.
It does, Eric.
It sucks
It
to
does
suck.
suck to suck.
It does suck
Yeah.
to suck, and that's
It's
what
too
they
bad.
are.
While I can understand why they're frustrated, at a certain point you need to put the greater good over your own personal ambition, and
Yeah.
they can't
Yep.
seem to do that. And this seems to be a problem with the Aes Sedai, not just them. It seems to be a problem with the Aes Sedai in general. Hence Elida.
Yeah.
Who leveled up? Dave.
Gareth Bryn.
Yeah,
Heck yeah,
Gareth Bryn.
baby. Heck yeah,
Gareth
baby.
Bryn, man, that guy's risking a lot. He's
Yep.
risking a lot on his
Preach
trust.
it to me.
His trust for Egwene, and he has never faltered from that from day one. He just keeps doubling down, man. He's got 11. He's doubling down on it each time with her, and it's fantastic.
Yep.
I am
I
all
mean,
for it.
also, he's got a little other thing going on in his life with
Right.
Oh, man.
Meanwhile,
lovely lady.
he's canoodling.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
canoodling
Or
with
I think
someone
it's-
that looks.
He's trying to. I don't think
that
they're
looks,
canoodling
what,
yet.
20 years old?
Right.
How old is he?
Right.
I mean, good for
That's-
him.
That
a
doesn't
little
seem to
weird.
be any problem in this
Good
book.
for him.
That
Good
doesn't.
for
These
him.
societies don't seem to
I'm
have any
sorry.
issue with that
I know.
whatsoever.
I know. That's not something to bring up.
Well,
That's not
I
something
think
to
it
bring up.
is. I think it's,
I mean,
well,
for the rest of
I'm
us,
just
it's a
bringing
little
it up
odd.
with you.
I mean, it's,
With you.
it's
Dave's down.
time and time.
Oh,
for that.
Yeah, that's great. That's lovely. But
He's been single for a long time, and she's never been involved with anyone.
she's also not 20.
Correct, which is the really important part about that.
How old is she? 400?
No,
that's
she's like 40 or 50.
Oh no, I'm sure she's older than that.
No.
She's like 100 years old.
I'm thinking
really?
she's like, that's my guess.
No, no. She's not over. She's not over 100
She's
years
not gonna be over
old.
100
She's
yet.
not 80. There have been
Maybe 50.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah,
You said 40.
That's
but yeah.
what,
no, I said 40
well,
or 50.
40, 50 is the same. Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Babies.
Well,
They're
I mean,
babies.
Yes.
Compared to some
That's
of the
a
others,
baby. Yeah.
Well, and
Okay.
there's
Well, that makes
reference. There's
sense.
reference made here. She makes reference to the fact that she became Oberlin at a young age,
Yeah.
which
That
she
does
did.
make sense.
Not as young as Egwene.
And
Yeah.
it doesn't end well. Yeah.
Well, it didn't end well for her, but she
It doesn't seem like this ends well for the Oberlin seat.
just usually doesn't. It seems
Ever.
like.
Ever.
Hey, maybe we'll get lucky and won't end well for Elida.
Well, I think that's a pretty unless Jordan is more inventive than I give him
She's
credit
a cockroach, man.
for. Yeah. No, she's
No, she's not a cockroach. I hope not. Because cockroaches
Live forever.
survive forever.
Right, I know. She's okay. Let me rephrase. She's a cockroach
God
to
bless
this
a
point.
cockroach. Yeah. Well, I have no problems
So
with
anyhow,
cockroaches.
that is
as long as you're not in my house.
who leveled up for me,
who leveled up for me was Ptolemaeus or Ptolemanius. Manus.
or otherwise known as Talmanas.
Yeah, thank
Talmanas.
you, Talmanas.
Yes.
It's
Why
Talmanas.
did he level up for you?
Yeah, why?
For a long time, he appeared to be an antagonist to Egwene, and he shows up at this meeting in support. He's in the right place at the right time. He's also sounds like gonna go and rescue Matt, and he also has gained an admiration for Egwene, which I think shows a lot of he has good discernment of character. So
I like him.
so those
Yeah,
are
me too. I'm down.
he at first he was just a sort of a card sharping general, and I feel like we got a little bit more rounding out of his character in this, even though it's very brief, obviously. But I like what I got from him.
Yeah.
You like the cut of a jib.
He does like the cut of the jib, and the jib likes the cut.
The giblins.
The giblins.
No, not giblins. I don't like giblins.
Or giblets.
Who
for
leveled
that
up for
matter.
you, Adam?
Oh, it was Bryn, but I can say it was Bryn, but
That's fine.
Egwene.
That's
I
fine.
Just want. I just feel
I
like
like the
needs a
Egwene
shout
pick.
out.
I agree. She definitely needs a shout out.
Bryn definitely leveled up for me in terms of what Dave said, but Egwene should get a shout out. I feel because
Yes. Yeah, she definitely leveled up.
Crazy level.
Yeah. She had a lot thrown at her, and I don't necessarily feel like I love the direction that it's going, but she is handling it very well. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
And I
am here for it.
I just want to start crying for her. I feel like she's grown up.
It's too late. We've already had one episode of crying in this.
We've already got to crying about.
We can't have two. You're breaking
Shiriam.
the rules. Well, that wraps up episode 21. Join us for episode 22 when we will cover chapters 19 through 24 of Path of Daggers. Until then, may you rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull, and she's to give you many cubs.
Doviende Tetovik again.
The
You know what I meant.